Good afternoon everybody, welcome to another Tillers Turf Talk. For those that haven't watched the videos before, a little introduction to myself. My name's Richard and I'm the technical manager here at Tillers. So I have quite a multi-diverse role, so I can be visiting customers one day, customer support, I can be doing shows, we can be doing an installation somewhere, or generally I can be dealing with day-to-day inquiries through the office, giving customers information and any other sort of details or anything else you want to know about the products that we grow here. So just want to cast your mind back to 2 or 3 weeks ago. We made a video all about sort of top tips for summer turfing. So we covered things like irrigation, tools for the job, being prepared, topsoil installation, and basically anything we could do to make sure that our installation in the summer is going to be good and positive and a good outcome and good result. So around about that time I laid a little turf area myself here at Tillers. This is actually 100% fescue and I've laid this as part of a trial. So this is something that I'm going to be growing on, trying 1 or 2 things on that hopefully we can make a good product going forward. But one of the commonly asked questions I get now is really sort of on the aftercare and establishment of the turf once it's been down a few weeks. So it's quite common for people to ring up and ask questions like, when shall I give it its first feed? When shall I give it its first mow? When do I stop watering? When do I know that it's had enough? So hopefully I'm just going to go through those now and hopefully just sort of clear 1 or 2 of those up for you. So we'll start off really with water. Obviously when the turf's laid, particularly with the temperatures we've experienced recently, and again you can flash back to the irrigation video we did last week, just how critical and important that is, particularly on the establishment of new turf. So this has been down, as I say, probably a couple of weeks now, coincides about the time we made the video. So the watering, I've been watering this pretty much every day, obviously through this very critical dry spell. We're also on some very sandy soil here, so we do lose the water quite quickly. So I just want to do a little experiment here, and one thing you see on a lot of videos and advice on watering is just to sort of peel up a little corner of the turf and just see how things are doing under there, check the soil's moist, check the turf's moist. That's okay until the turf's rooting down, and then of course it becomes slightly more difficult and you don't really want to be pulling it up. So just for the benefit of the video I am going to just pull a little corner up here, and already there we can see it's nice and moist, lots of nice white roots tapping down now, and that's establishing beautifully, and very pleased with the progress of that. But of course if you don't want to start peeling bits of your lawn up, one tool that you could find useful is something like this. So this is a core sampler that we use. We use this out in the field really for checking things like sort of thatch levels, organic matter build-up, sand levels on products where we're trying to build a sand layer, things like our greens on root zone. So these are readily available pretty much anywhere. You can buy them sort of online, you can buy them from other sort of turf product suppliers, anywhere like that. A simple internet search will normally find you one. So what you can do then is you can go around your lawn and you could take a sample. So simply push it down, pull the core out, and then we can take a look at the core, and as we can see from this we've got plenty of moisture all the way through the soil, through the profile. Normally I'd expect the whole together, but obviously it's still quite a young turf, so it's still rooting down. Everything's nice and moist, and what we can do then is simply pop it all back in the hole and bring it all back to normal. So my advice overall with the watering is obviously keep an eye on it, particularly the joins. You know, the joins can dry out quite quickly. We can see the turf start to shrink, so we must try and avoid that happening. Generally the area in the middle of the turf is quite protected, so any kind of hot air or anything doesn't really get under there too much, so it will retain the moisture a lot better than the joins will. So keep an eye on that. As I say, simple tools like this, or even just take a little sample out with a little knife or something, and obviously have a look at the sample, plenty of moisture there, you can put it back. Now obviously if you go around your lawn and do that in a few different spots, then you may find there's just 1 or 2 areas that you need to focus on. Some areas are absolutely okay, and that way you may save a little bit of water too. So I hope that helps. So the next question I get asked quite frequently is on the subject of fertilizer. So with things like the fescue that I've put down here, it tends to be quite a site-specific grass. It likes a nice free draining soil, hence the reason we find it quite naturally growing on things like golf links courses on the seaside, very sandy soils, heathland courses again where sandy soils are very natural to the area. So this one here is, as I say, is being grown for the benefit of a trial, It's on some light sandy land here at Tillers, so this is doing really well. Sort of landscape turf that contains sort of a perennial dwarf ryegrass in, then I would suggest feeding it probably every, well again depending on the soil type you've got. On a free sandy soil, then probably every 4 to 6 weeks. You know, on a heavier, more clay-based soil, you might get away with every 6 to 8 weeks. But what we have to remember is, and I've said it time and time again, that when this turf is cut, we've taken away all its water resource, all its nutrient resource, so we have to give it back. So if you can, ideally put down a pre-turfing fertiliser before you lay the turf, but after that we have to remember that the turf may not have been fertilised for 3 to 4 weeks before it's harvested. So when we're looking at an establishment time 3 to 4 weeks later, it's potentially gone its 6 weeks without a feed. So what to feed it? Generally go to a garden centre or fertiliser supplier, anywhere, a specialist, and just simply request a standard sort of spring summer fertiliser. So the analysis isn't too important. If you just give that bit of detail there, then generally for your landscape turf that'll be enough without being too specific. So the third and final thing I want to go through, and it's a question again that I get asked a lot, and that is, when do I need to do my first cut? Quite simply, as soon as you need to would be my answer. It's a difficult one to say without sort of seeing the actual turf itself and being on site, but my general rule of thumb is if it needs mowing, mow it. You know, don't get too greedy for a start. You know, nice top off for a start, and then gently lower the height to where you want it to be. But before you do that, the key thing really is just to ensure that the turf is stable enough to walk on. What we don't want to do is put a mower on it, walk all over it, move it around. So once it's established, and particularly during these summer months, I would suggest that that turf would be fairly stable within 7 to 10 days to walk on. Plus, with the temperatures at the moment we're having and the water that you're giving it, it's going to be growing quite rapidly too. So don't leave it too late. Don't give yourself that position where you're going to be hacking it down, turning it yellow, making a bit of a mess. There's really no need to. So once it's stable enough, general rule of thumb, crack on, get it cut. So I hope those few tips have sort of helped with the establishment of your turf. One thing I would say is if you are laying some turf at the moment, then it may be worth just going back through our YouTube channel and having a look at the video I made all about you know, getting the best sort of results from laying turf in the summertime. So some quite handy tips and advice on there for you. At the moment, very dry again at the moment. We've got irrigators running all over the place as per last week's video. So if you're putting any new lawns down, any new turf down this weekend or this week at all, then be sure to get plenty of water on it and go through all the processes that we've mentioned previously. So I hope that helps, and just to finish off, thanks again for watching all our videos. There's lots of exciting stuff to come up. There's lots going on the farm at the moment, so we're going to be looking at big mowers, we're going to be looking at hoovers, we're going to be looking at lots of other sort of cultivation processes, so plenty more to look forward to in the videos, along with lots of sort of site visits. We're going to be visiting customers, we're going to be going to shows, so lots and lots of interest for you coming up. So please feel free to like, subscribe to Tillers Turf TV, retweet, share with your friends. Hope you're enjoying them. We're certainly enjoying making them. Hope you find them useful. So have a great weekend. We'll catch you all next week. Thanks again.